Hello and welcome. This is One House, basically one on one with One House. And today I have a very, very special guest with me. And the main thing here is just as we had advertised, I will just put up the promo stuff that we had earlier so that you see. Today we will be talking to Blessing Enakimio. And the main issue that we are discussing today has to do with a new energy lounge, which is being launched as we speak right now. So much background work has been done to get this ready. But before we bring her on, I would just like to give you a brief background of who she is. She has been on this show before. She has been on this platform before. Now, Blessing Enakimio, also known as Madam Blair, is a UK-based creative, result-driven, award-winning serial entrepreneur with extensive experience in events design and production, business development, organizational development, personal and professional development, a global speaker, and a female economic empowerment advocate. Blessing is the CEO of Blair Global, an international business relations service responsible for elevating established organizations to a position of successful international reach, leveraging on human capital connections and collaborations, promoting international and intra-Africa trade across various sectors and industries at the highest level. Blessing believes in collaboration as the currency of the future. She is a businesswoman and runs multiple companies, including the UK cake brand Blair Culture Cakes, as well as Blessing by Blair, an award-winning full-service luxury wedding planning and event design outfit. She has so much that she is doing. In order for us to get to meet her and talk to her right now, the best thing to do is actually to bring her onto this broadcast. Hello, Blessing.
Hi. Good
Uh,
evening.
Good evening, and so we meet again. So you can hear me clearly, so that
Yes, I
all the
can.
stuff. Good. So all the stuff that I've been putting out there, all the stuff that I've been talking about, basically is you. I hope you heard some of it, at least some of what, or
I
the
did. I think so, yes.
some of the brief intro. So now, as I had said earlier, Blessing is not necessarily a visitor to this platform. She has been here before, and we had talked about, hey, do you want to give us, or should I do it? Maybe
You go
we
go
let
for
you.
it. It's
Okay,
your show.
so basically, what it is that the first time she came on this platform, we're talking about business. We're talking about the level of empowerment, the level of involvement that she has in her community, not just the community when you're talking about the UK where she is based, but the global community as a whole is what we're targeting, what we're talking about. Immediately after that, she popped out with working in the energy sector, and we were doing the youth lab at that time, right?
Yeah, the
That
Youth
is what
Idea
is
Lab.
the
Yeah.
youth idea lab. That was what was on the table at that. There's basically no holding you down, Blessing. You are extremely busy. So before we go further, I would like to say a big thank you for making time out. I know you're extremely busy, especially with the new
Pleasure.
project that you're working on right now. So big thank you for making time out to be part of this.
My
Now,
pleasure.
since the last time we spoke, we had talked about the Youth Idea Lab. We had talked to some of the participants at that time, some of the those that were actually physically involved in seeing that project through. What have you been up to since then?
Oh gosh. Quite a fair bit, I suppose.
Mm,
Carrying on with international business relations, carrying on with international trade and intra-Africa trade. So there's been quite a lot happening around business within Africa. So African countries trading with other African countries. There, I think I have been to Egypt maybe a few times, to Dubai as well as Ireland, and I don't know, I'm not keeping track. But I think in all of my journeys, what I have found is that Africa is open for business as a
mm,
nation, and there's
yeah.
this thing about coming together where Africans no longer want to be seen as separate countries. You don't say Nigeria, Ghana,
Yeah.
this. So you don't separate the countries. A lot of us are coming together to say Africa is one. We want to be recognized as one voice, one nation. What you do to one affects the other. Therefore,
Yeah.
we'll all come together and stand together as one. So that's kind of one thing that we're finding, that there's a lot of intra-Africa relations going on, and it's been quite exciting.
Yeah. We'll dig deep into all the stuff that other. But when the last time we spoke, we didn't have this. Let me put it up so that everybody can see. We didn't have Blair Global at the time. So you want to tell us what this is all about?
Yeah, I suppose it says it in its name. It's an international business relations outfit that kind of it grew up organically based on demand, so to speak.
Mm,
So I had a few clients who needed some sort of international business relations, shall I say,
yeah. Mm,
for us to help service them, bring in one trade, like I said earlier, from one African country to another. And we kind of
yeah.
needed to fill that gap. That's where Blair Global comes in. So it's a global organization that offers both consultancy as well as a service to help grow companies across nations, so to speak. So let's say a company is stationed in one country and they want to set up and
Mm,
expand in another. We
yeah.
can help with that, and we do that purely by collaboration, really. Making taking advantage of human capital, connections that we've made over time. So that's kind of what we're all about at Black Global.
So what is different from the other organizations that you've been working with? This is basically you as an entity. What
Me and all
inspired
that is behind me.
that is behind it? So
Yeah.
what is the inspiration behind it? Why all of a sudden why did you decide that this is the time
There was a need
to
for
move
it.
in? Okay.
That it's just purely, like I said, it came up organically. There was a need for it. There are it's easier for large organizations to expand, so to speak.
Mm,
If,
yep.
say, for lack of, let's say, Coca-Cola wants to set up a new branch somewhere, they've got the tools and the wherewithal to do that. But for smaller companies, small organizations who want to trade internationally, it might be a bit of a minefield. It's a bit trickier to go from one country to the other. What are the rules? What are the laws? There's a lot of hurdles to jump over. So we came on board with a solution. Again, collaboration. We could
Yeah.
be, instead of reinventing the wheel, is there someone over there who you can handshakes with to get
Mm,
your products across, get your services across, and it lowers your costs essentially. So you'll be
yeah.
able to break into the market a lot quicker
Mm,
than you thought you could.
okay. So the last time we spoke, we stopped at the Youth Ideas Lab. How has
Mhm.
that? What's the current situation with that? What has
Okay.
happened after that? Yeah.
Yes, Youth Agile Lab was part of the Nigeria International Energy Summit, the fifth edition,
Yeah.
which was earlier this year. So that was
Mm,
beautiful. We had quite a few innovators come on board and they showcased their products. A lot of them have gone on to do great things. In fact, I think, was it yesterday or today, was the launch of a factory of one of the exhibitors that were there. So it's they have grown, and I keep my eye on what they're doing, and it's nice to see that they're making improvements and making strides. So there's a
mm,
lot of push still going on with those companies and those products, and that's still ongoing. That cohort is still ongoing, and we're looking to have the second cohort as well at the next edition of the Nigeria International LNG Summit coming up next year.
next year. When next
However,
year?
next year, April 16th to the 20th of April.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So,
we
but
will
what
get back
we're
to that one. Yep. Go ahead.
yeah. So what we're doing now is slightly similar, but it's got its own little twerk as well. It's slightly different because now this is in Lagos, in Nigeria, with the Energy Institute Nigeria. They've got their annual conference coming up next week.
Mm,
So is the Energy Sustainability Conference coming up. And as part of that, we are introducing the new Energy Lounge. Now, the difference with this is that it's not so much just ideas, it's more of us pairing these ideas. So, if we have anyone out there who is in the new energy space, be it cleaner fuels, renewables, whatsoever it is, we would like them to come on board, come have the opportunity to exhibit their product, as well as tell us what their strategic goals are, so that we can look in the room and find any CEOs of larger organizations that, for instance, might want to have a conversation with them to expand their portfolio. So it could be an existing company who now wants to go into renewables. Instead of starting from scratch with that department, they could collaborate, they could partner with one of these startups to accelerate their product. So that's what we're looking at exploring with the new energy lounge in Lagos next week.
Okay, so that starts already next week.
Yes, it's
The
the
new energy
8th.
lounge.
Yes, it's the 8th to the 10th of November 2022.
Okay, so what kind of people are you expecting? What kind of participants? Who are the kind of partners that you're expecting for this one?
Okay, so we are looking for any companies in cleaner fuels, energy
Mm,
tech, any solutions that you have to help with cleaner fuels in Africa. That's what we're looking at. So we're not only opening it up to just Nigerian companies, it's also open
yeah.
to anyone in Africa, really. So this
Mm,
isn't necessarily youth. This is
yeah.
open to anyone. So
Okay.
where the other one was a youth idea lab, this is
Mm,
more new energy. So it could be an organization maybe that's been around maybe 5, 10
mm,
years, and they want to scale. This is an
yeah.
opportunity for them to come on board and see who they can collaborate with to scale into a larger market.
You seem very driven, especially the passion when it comes to clean energy. What's why?
Why not? I think all of us are eco warriors, and we should be, to be honest,
Mm,
because it's a problem that affects us all. And I think if we all do the little that we can with whatever
mm,
platform we have, it will make a difference, you know. And I think there's an opportunity there. There are lots and lots of ideas, lots and lots of solutions and innovation existing already.
yeah.
And
Mm,
sometimes what these companies require is just a platform.
yeah.
So if all I can do is provide that platform, why not? So I
Mm,
find that by partnering with existing conferences around that context, it's the best place to talk about it. It's the best place to bring it up and
yeah.
and showcase these products, I think.
Is the message getting across though? Or what are the difficulties that you're having in actually getting the message through?
I think the difficulty is time.
Okay, how?
You know,
What do you
if
mean?
I could dedicate my entire time to it,
Mm,
I'll get more, you know, of an interest. But I have engaged with a couple of stakeholders and
yeah.
other, you know, other champions I know who feel the same way I do, and they've all put it out there. And I suppose it's also calling on the media houses like yourselves, and
Mm,
I like
yeah.
yourself, and I'm quite grateful that you've given us this chance. So it's
Yeah.
calling on all the other media houses as well to take it on. You know, all it's gonna take is just for you to do a post or a shout
Mm,
out or sending it to someone who might be interested. So
yeah.
whoever has a platform, whoever has a network of young people, of innovators, engineers, whatsoever, you know, just
Mm,
let them know this is happening. They can come in person, they can come with their products, with their service. We're giving you a platform to share what you have
mm.
and help create this global solution that we're all seeking, really.
As if that's not enough that you're doing already.
Mhm.
It's the word is out that you've been recently appointed as the country director of Leaders Without Borders. First, you would tell us what that is all about. It's an international organization, so we hear. So first, you would tell us what that is all about, what that organization is all about, and then tell us what impact you hope to make through that organization.
Okay. Leaders Without Borders, like the name says, is an
Yeah,
organization of leaders who are not bound by the boundary of a nation or a country. So
yeah,
it's borderless. So we come
mm,
together again to facilitate international trade, to facilitate economic development, and
mm,
simply as the name says, that's what it is. It's a global organization, and I'm quite excited and proud to
yeah,
have been appointed as the country director for UK. So what that looks like for me is that I would then seek to advance the organization's aims and objectives
yeah,
in
mm,
bringing in trade into the United Kingdom as well as out of the United Kingdom. So if there are any companies, again, organizations, small business, medium-sized, large organizations who would like to do business globally, who would like to trade with other companies, other organizations. Again, that's another tool, another arsenal in my bag, I suppose, I could use to facilitate trade internationally.
Is it? It's not a new organization, is it? It's been
No,
around.
it's been a while.
Okay.
It's been around for a while. Yeah,
Mm.
it's been
So
around.
we've basically been tracking you quite a bit. So
Okay.
you maybe you would like to tell us what this and what was the.
Oh gosh. Okay. This was the Nigeria Island Trade and Investment Summit that took place in
Okay.
Dublin earlier this year. It was
Mm,
hosted by the Nigerian Embassy in Ireland. So I was invited to host a panel, and the panel, if I remember correctly, it was on free trade within Africa.
okay.
And we had quite a high level of participants who came from Nigeria and those from
Mm,
Ireland as well. And we had a
yeah.
decent conversation around, again, intra-Africa trade, how easy it
Yeah.
is to take
Mm,
goods out of Africa to Ireland and within Africa as well,
mm,
to trade freely. And there's
yeah.
a lot of progress that has been made, to do this. And I was quite fascinated to see it, but I think there's more to be said on that matter as well, so watch
Okay.
this space for more on that.
And I do also want to make a comment on this. We absolutely love the fact that you find a way to always get women in the forefront of
Oh
a lot
yes.
of the action or the impact making things, projects
Oh
that you're doing.
yes. Oh
So tell
yes.
us about this one.
This is actually she was the host of the event, so
Okay.
she is the ambassador of Nigeria to Ireland. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And how is she adding value to the amount of work that you're doing when it comes to?
Oh gosh, Her Excellency is she's a businesswoman, she's quite savvy, and
Mm,
she really wants to make sure that Nigeria is on the map when it comes to Ireland, because there's a lot of export from Ireland to Nigeria, and
okay. Really? Like
Ireland
what
is
exactly?
benefiting. Like Guinness, for instance, there's even
Okay.
more.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay.
there's whiskey, there's all
Mm,
sorts going on. So the island is benefiting from exporting to Nigeria, and she wants
mm,
to make sure that Nigeria benefits as well from Ireland. So that's kind of what
mm.
the event was championing.
Geared
So
towards,
I
yeah.
think I think there's going to be a lot more going on there.
Mm. And as if that's not enough, still, what is going on here?
Oh my gosh, you have been tracking me, haven't you? Right. This was in Egypt. This is the Canadian International College. They had their graduation ceremony and they
Mm,
invited me. So I went along with a delegation to the graduation ceremony. So that's what that was about. Yeah.
okay, okay. There's a college in Egypt, a Canadian college in Egypt.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes. Yes.
And perhaps maybe this one.
Okay. Okay, this was me with a delegation as well from Nigeria that I took to Egypt, and we had a meeting at the Afrexim Bank in Egypt.
Okay, this is very high-powered delegation that you're working with. So you are definitely getting, your toes and your feet deep into all this amount of work. So let's return back to um, Blair Global,
Hmm.
right? So this is new, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. When did you launch this one? When did it start?
Oh, I think it was in April or May earlier this year.
Okay.
Hmm.
So what does Blair Global hope to achieve across board in the next couple of years? What is your general action plan?
Okay, it is to facilitate trade, quite simply, to
Mm,
make sure that we open up the borders where possible. We lead delegations to nations from
mm,
one country to another, intra Africa, internationally, wherever possible. It's to help small business, medium business owners reach out to a global audience, kind of
mm.
making the globe smaller where
Okay.
possible, simply by collaboration. And I think that's
Mm.
I
So
must add that.
you create the collaborations or you facilitate these collaborations
Both,
or what's the
both,
okay.
both. So it depends on what it is. If we already have the contacts, then fine, we
Yeah.
create the handshake. If we
Mm,
don't, we go and seek the contacts, to
mm.
create that opportunity for
Okay, so
businesses.
mostly businesses and no other area of endeavor. What
I
else do
never
you?
say never. I never say never. So
Okay,
it's a
yeah.
case of, for now, it's
Mm,
businesses,
okay.
that are maybe seeking technical partners, financial
Mm,
partners, whatever it is. If it's within our
mm.
arsenal, we'll try and help. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Okay, so I will take you back to the New Energy Lounge. Is there more that you would like to tell us about the New Energy Lounge? You're working with the Energy Institute of
Yes,
Nigeria. Yes.
yes.
Okay.
I would really like to call on professionals, industry, stakeholders within the energy sector to register, and attend this event. And do give a shout out to any entrepreneurs out there, or innovators, or tech people who've got solutions in the energy space for cleaner fuels. We really, really, really want to see you. We really want to hear from you. We're giving you a platform to come and tell us all about what you've got on offer and who you would like to meet. We want to help you scale up where possible. We want to put you on the map, again, globally. So please do reach out, and let's see what we can do with you.
Okay, that sounds good. So what happens after? I know for certain that you have your multitasking in so many ways. So
Mhm.
what else are you up to? Please let us know besides this
Ooh.
one. What is happening? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so let's just say, okay, after this one next week, we've got this event next week. After
Yeah.
that, we've got the Leaders Without Borders event in Dubai. That's the Africa Dubai Investment Business Summit. So
Mm,
we should be jetting off to Dubai for that as well afterwards. I think that's November 17th and 18th.
mm.
So that's to come. Following that, we've got a few other events as well lined up for the rest of the year, which you probably be hearing more about. If you do follow me on LinkedIn, you'd see live action, as it happens. I do try
Yeah.
and keep people up to date and share.
So I mean, you're a woman. We'll just call you a woman of action. So we will be following, just as we have been doing so far.
Okay.
What I would like for you to do now is once again, because this is
Yes.
very important, is
Yep.
answer this question for us. Okay,
Hmm.
somebody did ask.
Hmm.
With the way the energy sector is going right now across the world, how come? Why is it that Africa is not taking the forefront when it comes to providing? Because there is a lot of energy
Hmm.
in Africa. Why is Africa not taking the lead when it comes to providing a lot of this?
Okay.
Or why are people not, the investors not, putting more into Africa for this?
I think there's quite a lot going on already,
Mm,
because of the current state of things,
yeah.
and we as a sector are pushing
Mm,
gas, and we're
yeah.
saying gas is good for Africa for so many reasons, because we have it. Why not use it? We're not at Africa isn't where the West is. There's no point considering electricity as the way forward just yet. We're looking at gas. Okay. So we already do have quite a few engagements going on. Europe is knocking on doors. There's a lot that is already happening that perhaps, unless you search, you might not know. There is a lot going on investment wise, but there is still more room to go. And I think with the events that we're putting on, bringing the global world of energy to Africa, we are creating the platforms for people to understand what Africa has to offer the world. So I think it's work in progress. We are making a dent. We are moving forward. So let's not say it's not happening. It is happening. More
Yeah.
can be done. And the only way it can be done, again, I put it back to yourself. The media, you guys can help us push the agenda
Mm,
of gas being good for Africa. Yes,
mm,
it's cleaner fuels. We like to push the agenda forward. But I really think that the platforms that we have created and continue to work on is giving Africa that opportunity that it needs.
yeah. Is there any direct correlation between clean energy and climate issues? For instance, they have the COP 22
COP
coming up,
27.
20, COP 27, sorry,
Mhm.
coming up. Is there any correlation between that? Is there some kind of a sync between what you are doing and what is happening across the globe right now?
I think we're all on the same train. Some of us are on faster trains, some are on slower trains. We're all on the same journey, heading towards net zero. That's the ultimate goal,
mm,
essentially. But for specific countries in Africa, our targets might be different, even though we're
mm,
still on the same journey. For instance, Nigeria wants to be powered by gas by
mm,
2030.
yeah,
So other African countries will have their own targets as well. So
mm,
whereas the West might be way ahead, they're
mm,
maybe in the first two carriages because they're way advanced. That's fine, but
yeah,
we're all on the same journey talking about energy transition. But we
mm,
must we must direct this conversation from our own state, from where we are. It
yeah,
must be our own narrative. We can't just run along with what everybody else is saying,
mm,
because it isn't sustainable. First
yeah,
of all, we must consider energy security for Africans first. We must make
mm,
sure everyone has access to energy before we can consider net zero, so to speak.
mm,
So
yeah. That's a
whilst
high.
we're on the journey,
Mm,
our priority is energy security. And what's the
yeah,
best way to provide that is by making it affordable. And what do we have to make it affordable at the moment is gas. Hence
it's
the
good.
whole ploy. So we are working towards it. We're on our way and we'll get there at our own pace. And I think
Mm.
everyone needs to kind of understand that that's what we're doing.
Brilliant. Now, guys, remember this. It's very important. This the new Energy Lounge, which is the initiative that Blessing has been fronting, is talking about right now, is going to be taking place quite soon, isn't it? Next week, isn't it? So,
Yes, it is.
we, according to her, she wants to tell you, she's telling you right now that there's a way for you to be part of this project. So do so right now. How can we reach you? So just tell us how everyone can reach you for those who have not actually followed all the action, all the work that you've been doing. How can they reach you today, right now, to be part of not just this, but all the other initiatives that will likely be following up the work that you're doing right now?
Okay. I use several social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, but LinkedIn I
Hmm.
would suggest is the best one to follow me on.
Yeah,
Also, you can keep an eye on blairglobal.co.uk if you would like to. But for the new energy lounge, again, search it up on LinkedIn if you want to, or go to blairglobal.co.uk and information is on there on
yeah.
how to participate.
Mm. Blessing, blessing, blessing. Thank you very much for being a part of this week. Like we said, we will be following, we'll be taking notes of everything as it's happening. We're on your case. So
Okay.
thank you for being a part of today's show. And we will talk to you quite soon.
Thank you very much for having me. Much appreciated.
No worries. All right. Till next
All
time.
right.
Bye.
Speak soon. Bye bye.
And there you have it. A big thank you once again to Blessing for being a part of this broadcast, this live broadcast today. And we will definitely be following up on all the things because this is very important. This is very crucial to especially the African countries who need to diversify and change their mindset towards energy, especially clean energy. On that note, I say a big thank you to you for being a part of today's show. Until next time, bye.